Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's Nick from Noobkill coming at you with another Madden video today. So guys, we kind of got an interesting type of program in the game, and I believe it was on Friday. They released this on Friday. Now I know I'm posting this video on Monday. I'm actually recording this on Monday, like early morning. It's like 2 a.m. in the morning, so I'm not going to talk too loud in this video, but I'm going to give you guys my 2 cents on this event, this program type of hub thing, give you my thoughts. We're also going to go ahead. There was actually one of the developers who is actually, I guess, one of the guys who designed this whole hub, and he went ahead and talked on Mudhead, so we'll go in and dive into that as well. But really, my first impressions of this is like, yo, cool, flashbacks are back. So first, when you logged in on Friday, you got, like, if you guys had any of these types of currencies in the game, it kind of got converted from the older currency into newer. So Rising Star, you guys knew it was going to get refreshed in October, so there's now just one type of currency for Rising Star. So there's no more laurels, there's no more like Rising Star points or stuff like that. Heavyweights, the tires, they were the exact same, so you got like one heavyweight tire for a new heavyweight tire. I don't know what the whole thing about that was, but of course, flashbacks here. Now, flashbacks is all we've seen so far. Monday, like I said, recording this at 2 a.m. in the morning, so the content batch hasn't released just yet, so we don't know how many tokens exactly you get per se. I want to say off this one right here, there is a main event that you can play every Monday, Thursday, and Friday. Of course, Wednesday is our Team of the Week day, so that's why they kind of pushed Wednesday to Team of the Weeks. But I don't know, I'd rather have them have Team of the Weeks come out on the same time as console, so Tuesday, and just have veterans come out on a Wednesday. You know what I'm talking about? That just didn't make sense to me, but whatever. It is what it is. There is that, I guess, 1 day break in the middle. But okay, so let's just take a look at flashbacks. This used to be my like absolute favorite type of content program that they had in the game. If you guys remember Madden Mobile, I don't know if it was in the first Madden Mobile, I think it was the second one, where you had the trophies and stuff. You put in like 15 or 10 elite trophies, and you just got one random flashback player. So to me, that was the most funnest time I had with flashbacks. Moving on to season 3, I think they took them away, and then in season 4 they brought them back as just like a guaranteed pack type of thing. I can't remember if it was in season 3. I don't think they were in season 3, but if they did, it was just like you can only get flashback players if you guys bought a pack in Madden Cash. So to me, that was a little disappointment. This used to be my favorite program. It used to like be like something that, hey, even if you were free to play or you paid a lot of money into the game, you could get flashback players fairly achievable. It wasn't like this crazy drawn out thing that they have now. And honestly, it is just a little, it is a little mad, because of course, look at this. So we have 3 events, guys. If you guys play the event, obviously it's not Friday, it's Monday morning. You can play the event, you get 500 coins, and then you get a flashback pack. Inside this pack, you get a bunch of bolts. Depending on the luck you get some lightning bolts. So you can see at the top right hand corner, I have 16 of these little flashing bolts. And then there's 3 events. So you can get boom, 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 3 events, gives you 3 packs. And of course, the main event, if you go ahead and do the main event on the day, you actually can pick from a assortment of course, one of the 4 currencies, and it could be a random number as well. So yeah, in total, from those 4 events, for me on Friday, I got an average of 4 lightning bolts. You know what I'm talking about? I wasn't so lucky. I ended up with 16 lightning bolts to end off the week with. You know what I'm talking about? Because you can only play them once, and that's one of my biggest quarrels with this event program, guys. I'm honestly, I really dislike this whole layout, and I don't understand why we have events that you can play them, and after you play them once, the reward is gone. I understand you guys got rid of stamina, but I would rather 100% have the stamina type of blockage, where you can only play events so many times because you run out of stamina. But I'd rather play that and get a reward for playing the event, instead of, hey, I played the event once, I get 1 reward, and then I can't grind it out. They basically took out grinding in the game. And I think that is a terrible way to run a program. Honestly, guys, for me, I understand, you guys have to understand here as well. EA Sports, they make it great. They made a game, and of course, EA Sports at the end of the day is a business. So no one's gonna keep the lights on for free if they just have everything free to play. You know what I'm talking about? So I understand there will be events or packs. You know what I'm talking about, like signature packs that are only being able to buy them with Madden Cash. So I understand type of things, but everything so far to me, it's been like it's very tough to grind, and if you want to grind it, you're gonna have to sit hours and hours and hours. And to me, I don't think that's fair because honestly, okay, console players, they will sit hours and hours and hours. You know, they're console players. They sit in front of the TV and stuff. Yo, this is on a mobile phone, guys. This is supposed to be a grab and go game. That's the way I look at it. I understand they want to make the sessions of people sitting down playing the game longer, and that's totally understandable, but hours and hours and days and weeks actually just to get a flashback player for free, to me, that does not seem reasonable. So let's go ahead and go to the store because there's only flashbacks in there so far. So you guys see I have 16 lightning bolts. I couldn't even get myself a 95% chance at a gold player. This is not even like it's going to offer you a gold flashback player. It's just a random gold player. And then, of course, you have a 5% chance at the 89 overall flashback players. And that, of course, is Pierre Garçon, who has a really nice boost with +1 speed right there. But his stats are, it's all right. It's not bad. I believe some other cards have better stats. But of course, still a very nice card. I like the +1 speed. But here's another whammy. Here is another whammy right here. Bonus is only the flashback players. So if you have the Pure Garçon, he's the only guy going to get that +1 speed. So to me, another bonus. First time we're seeing bonuses and like boosts on player cards, but for them just being for that specific player or that specific program, there's only 2 players out so far with Landon Collins and of course Pure Garçon. And if you're not paying for these, paying for packs, you're not getting either one of them this week. But it's just like, yo, it just scratches my head. Like 350 bolts. That's a lot of bolts, is considering I got 16. Now we'll talk about how many bolts you can get later on because we'll go on to Mudhead and talk about what talk more in depth about the program. But honestly, for me, it's just so rough because yo, they made it so you cannot get the reward more than once after you play the live event. That's just mind-boggling for me. I only have 16, so yes, I know I'm. This account is now no money spent, and I understand I won't be getting these guys on first day, and I completely understand that because I'm not buying any Mana Cash. And if people do want to buy Mana Cash, hey, they have a better way to get these players. But of course, I don't even think in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, I will get these guys. You know what I'm talking about? That's the crazy part to me. And we'll jump into the blog post or whatever because he talks more in depth with the time and math and all that stuff. So we'll get onto that. But yeah, just looking at this program right now, I'm not really excited about this whole quad hub. My look at this is just, I'm kind of scratching my head at this one. I really hope that like they were going to release something before Most Feared that like really draw people back into the game, and then boom, they hit us with this awesome Most Feared content. But this really scares me because it's scaring a lot of people to get to like move away from the game. And then Most Feared comes out. If you lose a lot of players at this point of time, before Most Feared hits, I don't know how many people will come back, and that's the rough part. And this is a Madden Mobile channel. I want this game to succeed as anybody else, because yo, this is like, if the game doesn't succeed, the channel doesn't succeed. You know what I'm talking about? But of course, we'll jump into Madden on Mudhead and then talk about that post. So let's go and see what they've talked about. All right. Alright guys, so we are on Mudhead. If you guys don't know what Mudhead is, mudhead.com is an awesome place for, of course, anything Madden in general, Madden console, Madden Overdrive. Of course, this video is not sponsored. I just really like the website a lot, and the guys who run it are awesome as well. But of course, here was our first post from, of course, EA Maruni. I believe his name is Darren. So he actually says, hello Mudhead, I assure you the flashback players will never cost anything close to 12,000 bolts. Because if you guys were in this post, you guys thought people were like, yo, the 89 overalls are 350 bolts, when like 90 overalls or 95 overalls come out. If they make 95 overalls for flashback, will they be like 1,200 bolts? Because the overall does spike up. Now, of course, okay, they do say it. So when a 95 overall comes out, it will be the same amount currency for the 89 overall. So that brings up another question, was like, when they release 95 overall cards, why would I save up right now and then spend it on 89 overall card when the 95s are going to be the exact same price? That's kind of questionable to me, but of course I like it that they're not going to be raising the bolt price. So if you are a free-to-play player and you are grinding, hey, newer things come out every week and you can go ahead and choose. Now, of course, if you're going to buy some Mana Cash, you guys can know ahead that, hey, even if you're saving up buying, you can get the players and you're still buying, have extras, the cost for new flashback players won't rise on you. With that being said, so that's a little new a little heads up. I think this is his first post on Mudhead or something like that, so that's cool that he's in here. Now let's go on to the second part of his things, because then this whole like thread on Mudhead was like going off. It was a bunch of people talking about it, and then finally, hey, Steve Dave, he is our community manager. He went ahead and actually introduced Darren. He's a product manager of Madden Overdrive, and he's very diverse into this program because he helped make the thing. You know what I'm talking about? So he says, hey, thanks for the intro. So here we go. First quote, he says, great, thanks to have you, Darren. Can you elaborate possibly possibility of the event being more repeatable or any other opportunity to earn currencies faster through these programs. So one of the first thing is, of course, this is the first time we've seen flashbacks come out. Now, of course, it's only been out for like 3 or 4 days now, and of course we have seen how many currencies you get, but hopefully what I'm really hoping is that a lot of people are talking negative about this, and honestly I really hope a lot of people are talking negative about it, and EA kind of looks at it, it says, yo, we're getting a lot of flack for this and we got to make some changes. I really hope they make some changes to this program, but some of the things that Darren does mention in this post kind of scares me a little bit, but of course, so let's see what else he says. Despite some player reporting higher pulls of these events, the 3 different events, also that could be lucky, it'll take around till March with no reward. There is no reward for the effort here. So you're either so basically he's saying you're either lucky, spend cash, or you wait till March to get a player. So he says right here, guys, you are welcome. We have released a plan to continue to release many opportunities for repeatable events. It will be certainly quite the grind. So that part right here scares me a little bit, because he says it will certainly be quite the grind if you want to just grind it out. You know what I'm talking about. But we still have free-to players that reach in both kickoff and the Hall of Fame program to, of course, the top tier. But of course, those guys were playing a lot of Overdrive. One, they were winning a lot of Overdrive, but one, they were playing just a lot of Madden in general. And what I talk about Overdrive is the Overdrive mode, not just like Madden Overdrive in general. But it was like, yo, those guys played a lot. They had to spend a lot of time into those games. And you know what I'm talking about. It wasn't just like, hey, I play event over and over again, as we used to have it. You know what I'm talking about? The old events. Now, of course, a lot of people say like sets would be great here, but I feel like the storefront is the exact same thing as sets. It's just that they're really not executing the storefront at its highest potential. You know what I'm talking about? This whole thing where like the collectibles and like the collectible cards and stuff for sets and the collectible currency for the storefront, they are the exact same thing. It's just the way they're giving out these currencies and the way they're going around with events and making them non-repeatable. It just makes it look ridiculous of just trying to get to those higher tier players. I know a lot more people last season, free to play, got to the higher tiers in Masters, in Most Feared, inside of Color Rush, inside of everything in those types of programs. Now, of course, like I said, EA is a business, but it's just like, bro, I could barely get out of anywhere, and I couldn't play that much just because life was busy, and that's where I feel like it's rough, because life, I understand, like, they need to make money and stuff like that, but execution wise, like I said in the last video where I talked about like thoughts of Madden Mobile or Madden Overdrive, just the execution of things right now has been really questionable. It's been really making you wonder about things, but of course we're just gonna hope for the best, keep on steamrolling through this, and hope for changes, because we're gonna be talking about more stuff in here. So the quad hub is an intentional diversions from that design. So basically they're saying, you remember the Hall of Fame and stuff like that, you could basically repeat Overdrive and get currencies from that. This whole event is a complete 360. So if you guys thought like Hall of Fame or Kickoff was a hard grind, basically they're saying like, yo, there's no grinding really inside of this event, which absolutely sucks, because why? Like, I understand if they had like veterans, heavyweights, and even like, what was the other one, Rising Stars, but why bring in one of my favorite types of programs with flashbacks? Flashbacks are so much fun. Flashback Friday was one of the best series for Madden Mobile, and they just dragged it in there, and now it's kind of wrecked. But of course, let's see what else it says. But here it is, where someone who is competitive but unwilling to grind their face off can optimize their grind within a reasonable time frame. Again, who is willing to grind their face off. Like I said, Madden Overdrive, I feel like it's still a mobile game. I understand the game did really well in the past couple Madden seasons. A lot of the engagement level is getting better and better, but it's still a mobile game. It still's got to be a grab and go. You can play a live event. You can play it over and over again, and then you go. I can't be sitting here for 3 hours in a day just playing Madden Overdrive. I got to go to work. I got to do other things in the day. You know what I'm talking about? So for me, that line right there is just kind of a letdown. Unwilling to grind their face off and can optimize their grind. So if you're not willing to grind your face off, it's basically saying it's going to be a long while. It's going to be a long while. We want to serve many different player types, preferences, and we have received feedback and sentiment of warrants of the type of offering, blah, blah, blah. I believe this program will feel better to you guys while we start rolling out different rewards. So I'm hoping, like I said, it's only been out for 4 days. We've only got to see in the flashback. When this video comes out, veterans will come out as well. You guys will see all the rewards and stuff like that. But that paragraph to me is just, it's a little hard. Okay, so every program hub, blah, 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 there's different currencies. So here's a nice breakdown. So flashbacks and rising stars, you can get a random amount from 2 to 100. So I guess I got unlucky. I averaged around 4 currencies per event, and you can even get 2, but you can get all the way up to 100. So if you play the first 3, you somehow get the jackpot, 300 in that week. Obviously, I don't think that's going to happen, but you can get lucky like that. You can get 300 from 1 week, and that's basically a player. But of course, I don't know, man. And then I just don't understand why it's not repeatable. That's my biggest quarrel. I understand it would be great. Okay, see, they made it 2 to 100. That's a really big gap. And you can score the 50, you can score the 75, they probably did by intervals of 25s and stuff like that, or maybe 10 and 15, 25, 50, 75, and so on and so forth. But of course, I'd rather have it where it would spit out maybe like 10, a range from like 10 to like 15, or since it's 350, maybe like a range from 5 to 25. 25 being the max, that's a jackpot, but I can grind that event over and over again, and then make it so it's like, yo, if you want us to play Overdrive, if you want to replay the event, it's going to be 200 Blitz tickets. I feel like that is great. That's like bringing back stamina. There is a limit that you can play this event over and over again, but it is grindable, and if you really grind it, you can go ahead and get the player. And of course, this draws away a lot of tokens for most feared, so more people will have to grind up for most feared. That's just my way of thinking. I just think that it should be repeatable. The value should be just lower, and it just should be repeatable so you guys can get more things and you can actually grind off the players. And if you're free to play, you can get it not in week 1, not in day 1. I understand if you cannot get the player on the day of they release, because hey, that's how it is. But of course, if it's like going to take me 3 weeks, that's a lot more fair than some of the math that some people have got. All right, so this part's kind of good. So like I said, if we give a lot of negative feedback on this program, they will change things. So he's saying, as a designer and product manager, I will keep a management of economy and a player release. So hopefully that means like if we start complaining a lot, they'll change the values. Maybe they'll make the event repeatable. But yeah, let's keep on going through this. So the next quote right here, considering it will take 15 to 20 weeks for a grindable player to obtain an 89 overall player at the current drop rates, the players will be worthless by that point. So that's another big fact here. This is another huge fact. It takes about 10 weeks, I believe he does mention in this right here. On average, it'll take you 10 weeks to get a player. But 10 weeks from now, bro, an 89 overall player is going to be obsolete. You know what I'm talking about? 10 weeks from now, 4 months, so so about December time. 89 overall players. It's going to be great, but they're not going to be like crazy cards that'll help out in Overdrive dramatically. You know what I'm talking about? We'll be in winter by then. We'll have Ultimate Freeze. We'll already have Most Feared. We'll have Thanksgiving, possibly Road to the Playoffs and stuff like that. So 10 weeks. That's a little too long for me. And that's another big point. Like I said, 3 weeks for an 89 overall player, maybe even 4 weeks is reasonable for a free-to-play player. But 10 weeks, man. 10 weeks. That is a killer. That's a backbreaker for a free-to-play player. Like, that is just crazy. That is just crazy to me. All right, let's move on what he says here. So this is a guy, another one says, so excited about this program, blah, blah, blah. So the lack of anything to do in the game is driving players away. We need something other than Overdrive, and it's not fun. People are saying Overdrive is still not fun, which is a hit or miss, I guess. It's just a different type of football game. You guys missed the mark completely. I need to open up these weekly programs to be able to play them again. So another big one. A lot of people are saying this, and it's really easy to see. And make the events much lower rate than what they're giving, and make it 150. I said like 200 or 250 for these events, because it's only 350 for a player. So I feel like that's fair. You know, I'm talking about that's 6 Overdrive wins per replay at 4 minutes, blah, blah, blah. So yeah. So the reason I stated above, I disagree that these events need to be repeatable. So this line right here, like, honestly, everything he stated in the above over here, it's not even that. It's not even like it helps out that the event will be like completable. Like they did basically all they basically said right here is that, and I don't know if I'm just reading this wrong and I'm just a dummy, but what I'm taking from this is basically, yo, you're gonna have to grind your face off, play like crazy, and then of course it says 10 weeks to get a free player, and that's kind of nuts. But he says, all right, so, and this statement right here, for reasons I stated above, and I completely disagree with this statement right here. Why do I disagree? It's not because, yes, it'll take a long while to get a player, but honestly, guys, Madden Overdrive, for me, I like the game. I like it a lot. It's a lot of fun for me, but of course, that's just my opinion. But really, look at the big picture. This is probably one of the harshest releases of a Madden mobile game. Madden Mobile 17 probably got the second worst, and because there just wasn't that many changes to the game, and there wasn't content updates or like just content coming out, and just the grind was different. But this season around, it's rough. It's really rough. It's really pushing people away. There's a lot more people quitting by the time September hit than there has been in. There's more people I feel like have dropped the game, and this is more serious, like players. Yes, there might be still a lot of people that log in. EA knows the numbers to this, but of course the hardcore fans of us who talk YouTube forums, all that stuff, it's been a rough one. You guys see YouTube views have been down. A lot of people are like have a lot of negative things to say about it. So for this program, for them to look at this and say like, yo, this is reasonable. You can get the player, it'll take you 10 weeks, but I feel like, yo, we don't have 10 weeks. We do not have 10 weeks the way I'm looking at this, man. It's not like we don't have 10 weeks to grind. It's just we don't have 10 weeks for people to keep on loving the game. You forced out a lot of people away at the release, and that's just because they didn't like Overdrive. And then the people that stayed, it's just there hasn't really been too much to do in the game besides Overdrive. Programs have been very hard to grind for. Yes, you still get some free elites and stuff like that, but it's really hard to get the end game cards for free to play players. And of course, lastly, this program right here, it's just like, I feel like this was a time to draw back players into the game before most feared, and really with this thing, it's actually pushed away some more people that were kind of invested into this game, but really are like, if this is the way the route is going, it's rough. It's really rough, and that's the downfall about this program. And I understand, hey, it's a grindable thing. I mean, it takes a while. It'll take you a while to get a card, but I feel like at this specific time of our game, of our state of the game, of the community state of people just quitting, people thinking this is a terrible game, it just wasn't a program that should have been added the way it's been added. You know what I'm talking about? So also for the math, so let's see what else he says. So he compares this person who posted this said about showstoppers that it was like impossible to get a showstopper last year. And then this person says, I don't think showstoppers is a fair comparison. I never got a showstopper either, but I expect to earn several quad hub players, and I know I will be able to do that without paying, although sometimes I choose to pay. Haha. So yes, you will get a quad player, a veteran player. It'll teach you, what's it called? Heavyweight, and rising star, and even a free flashback player. But that flashback player comes 10 weeks down. That's like near January. You know what I'm talking about? So like, yo, or it's like early December, I want to say. It's like mid-December, but like, the game has already progressed so much. An 85 or 95 overall card is just gonna be questionable. It's just gonna be questionable to me. And I just feel like, again, the content looked cool when it came out. Oh, we got something to do in the game. We did something. There's something they did. There's content. There's flashback players. They revamped a new program. But then you sit down and you really look at the program, and you just kind of feel let down. You feel a little disappointed. You just feel like, I can't play anymore. I have to wait till next week to play the event again. And that's why I feel like, oh, I disagree. This event does not need to be replayable. It definitely needs to be replayable. Cause like, yo, you log in, like, I understand they want to make it so like you grind your face off and sit down. But honestly, when I look at the game right now, I log in, I play Overdrive for like 5 minutes just to get the 3,000 points, scored, claims that, get my daily pack, whatever day it is, if it's like Legends or something, I play those 3 events, and then I put the game down. Just because after I play those events, I can't get anything, so there's no point to play him again. So it's either that or you play Overdrive some more, and it's just like, all right, I played Overdrive, I ranked up, or you get frustrated because you lost a bunch of times, so you put the game down, and it's just like there's nothing to grind for anymore. There's not that enjoyment of, hey, there's a live event out, I should go out and spam this live event over and over again, so I know it will get me some rewards. So honestly, like I said in this whole thing, the whole rebuttal, it's just like the content looks very good when you first look at it, but when you sit down and take a look at it, and some of the things that Darren has mentioned inside of this little post, it just worries me of how this program is going to be. If it stays this way, it's going to be not a program that everybody talks about. It's not gonna be a program where like, yo, like you look at Madden Mobile in the past couple seasons, you think of like Road to Playoffs. It was a great program. Oh, that was sick. Or you think of like other types of program, Most Feared. If this happens next season, no one's gonna remember a quad hub. Everybody's gonna be like, remember quad hub? And they're just gonna be like, yeah, that was the event you could play like 3 times in that day, and then you couldn't do anything afterwards, and they're just gonna forget about it. It's not gonna be a worthwhile program that people are just gonna remember that was being great. It's just gonna be like, oh, it took me 10 weeks to get a player, and I just feel like there needs to be a repeatable event. Like I said, if my feedback and my suggestions is lower the rate of how many items you get, currency items, from 2 to 100 to maybe like 5 to 25 or even 5 to 15 or something like that. I don't really know. Just make it lower and then put on a cap where you can play the event. It'll charge you like blitz tickets. Maybe it could be like 50 blitz tickets, 150, 200. I have no idea. But make it so we can play it over again. It just feels like there's nothing to do after you play those events. You just put the game down and you don't want to touch it again in the day. And that just like counteracts of them wanting to get more players in the game. But at the end of the day, guys, there's a new program. Tell me your guys' feedback in the comment section below. Like I said, EA, of course, is a business at the end of the day. They do need to make revenue. So I understand some of the points they're coming from. And, of course, guys, you do have to take into account that sometimes on the dev team, they have to do some, because higher ups and stuff like that kind of push their hands like, yo, you guys need to make a program or something like that does something like this. So there are some things, but I just hope they can come back, look at this, take the feedback, look at it hard, and make some changes, and hope this program can be a lot better for flashback. So yeah, this video was a lot longer. I'll try to edit it down, but if you guys stayed through the whole thing, tell me your feedback in the comments below. You guys are champs, and I hope there's some big changes to this program. But yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are tuning to for everything Madden Mobile, and that's right here on the channel. Always stay hyped, guys, and I'll catch you guys soon. Peace.
What's up?